rock and roll.
Well, hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. I'm your host, the amazing Super Chris Mallard. Thank you for joining me today. My co-host Brian is here. She's ready to go do that thing, and we're fixing to go have lots of fun. Got some lots of fun for Friday, I'm sure. But besides our normal fun, we've also got a guest today. We've got Steve Ghikadis. I think I said his name right today. Maybe. Only because he sent me the Hooked on Phonics version. But we'll see. Is it Ghikadis or Ghikadis or Ghikadis or, we'll find out in a minute. But Steve is going to be here, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys are ready. We're going to have a good time. I hope you all send safely. We'll be back in a minute. Let me see what I'm going to do to you guys today. Let's just start you out good. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that sounds like fun.
Life is complicated. These are trying times. There are many questions that need answering. Want to know what's going to help? Atheism. With atheism, you'll get rid of dogma, superstitions, and toxic thought patterns that are holding you back. You can drive while taking atheism, as well as use heavy machinery. In fact, drinking alcohol, fornicating, and Sunday mornings are far more enjoyable with atheism. However, there are side effects. Some evangelicals and fundamentalists will think you are possessed by the devil. But you don't have to worry, because you know the devil isn't real. Just like God. Wake up to your life. Believe in yourself. Believe in science. Atheism.
It'll be great. I know. I feel you, like, you do all this work and then, oh.
It takes a lot. Here we are. Good morning, everyone. I am here. I got my co-host with me, Ryan. There she is, Ryan Kotastic, looking fancy in the blue.
Oh, am I looking fancy? This is a Goodwill shirt that I bought.
There you go. Okay. I have a blue jean shirt that kind of resembles that.
Yeah. It's actually linen, but it does kind of give the feel like blue jean. Mm-hmm.
Does.
That's
well,
why I like it.
That's why, yes. Well, it works. Good morning.
Good morning.
I hope you're having a great day. Like I say, we've got Steve Ghikadis. I think I said it right. He may have responded because he's actually watching, I think.
Oh.
This morning. Yeah. So he gave me his name. He's going to pop in at the top of the hour whenever we, So looking forward to that. He is the author of, oh man, I forgot the name of the book. He's a humanist. It's about humanism. Very good book.
I like humanists.
There you go. I put it in the damn thing.
I like when people do the peopling things.
Me too. Well, I'm an atheist. That's one thing. You don't have to be a humanist just because you're an atheist. Some people assume that's the case, and that is not the case. But I am. I'm a humanist. I'm an atheist.
I wonder
humanist.
if there is a statistic about that.
I don't know how many
are more atheists typically. Yeah, who's generally more humanist leaning?
Yeah, that's interesting. We'll have to look that up one of these days. Good morning, everyone. Rational Poet Jackie is here. John Hudson is here. Adrian Belgrave, Secular Philanist, is here. Why? Because weed, bro. That's why I do it.
That's a good enough reason. I mean.
That's right. And Really is here. Good morning, Really. Thank you for joining us. Adrian Belgrave. Really? I know, right?
Really?
For real? I ain't buying it. And Poppy is here. Is that are you related to Bomb Poppy? Is that the
Oh shoot. So we got a Poppy and a Bomb Poppy?
We have a Poppy now. I just don't see, I haven't seen Bomb Poppy and Poppy in the same room together. It's sort of like Dan Barker and Quark from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. You never see the two of them in the same room together. So it makes me wonder.
One wonders, yes.
It does. Christine L. is here. Good morning, Christine. Jesus Unfollower. We're going to have you back on the show.
Yeah.
Kevin, it was nice meeting Kevin in person.
It was.
Yeah. Well, and future gatherings, we'll have to do the thing. God equals the square root of -1. Where have you been? It's been quiet around here.
Where you been, God?
Right. Is a Marapedo or a Marapedo a lago? Oh, that's a great question. Good question. Inquiring minds want to know.
Marapedo or Petalago? I think Petalago sounds, it just kind of rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah,
was meant.
I think so. It does, really. It does. One of the things, I think they're, as far as that issue goes, I think they're pretty much ready to just accept it and move on. The MAGA's pretty, they've drug it out long enough. Oh, sure, some people are still bitching about it, but we'll see. I think they're just gonna, because he still hurts the people they like hurting, and I don't see a lot of MAGA hats going up in flames. So, I'm just saying, I'm ashamed of them. I was already ashamed of them.
Right now, we're just into the depths of hell. We're into the ninth circle of hell here.
Yes. And we don't believe in hell. So what does that tell you?
Tells you something, right?
Godwin Absurdum. Good morning. How are you doing? He says, they say good morning, atheists. Good morning. I hope you're doing well. I hope you all had a wonderful week. It's Friday. Did you all sin safely and get lots of blaspheming done? I always ask this question because it's important. Got to know. You got to blaspheme. It's self-care. Mm-hmm. Blaspheming and sinning is a form of self-care.
I kind of usually do that, like to end my weeks. I might, put an extra conditioning in my hair, let it sit in the shower, shave my legs while also, doing some extra sinning,
blaspheming and stuff. Gotcha.
Right. Yeah. It's just how I unwind for the week.
Understood. Me time. Godwin Absurdum, thank you for the $2 super chat. Says, does this make Resident Chump the head of QAnon? I don't know, but we've talked about this on the show. Thank you for the super chat, Godwin. We've talked about this on the show, and I mean, I actually kind of predicted a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it about a week and a half ago, that they would start lowering the age of consent to make it to where it wasn't illegal. For Trump to be,
freaking hell.
And then like a couple of days later, this news report came out about this conservative politician that did exactly that. He helped lower the age of consent in his state, so a relative of his wouldn't go to jail.
Mm-hmm. It's almost as if they get into politics just so they can bend the law to their whim.
Yes. Why didn't we think of that?
Right? Jeez. We're stupid.
I don't know.
It's like all those Christians who actually leave theology school, realize that it's all bunk, but come out and still try to shill it because they know they can profit from it.
That's a good point. What we ought to do. Oh, that didn't scare me at all. We ought to, hang out outside of like seminary school and stuff like that, waiting for the fallen ones, the ones who realize this is a bunch of bullshit, and then we'll just interview them on their on their walk out. Come on, man, go with us. We'll take them all the way to atheism. Good morning, everyone. Right-handed Sid says hell is beautiful. Possibly so. Adrian Belgrave, I'm about to get my coffee to get up. Me too. I don't know how you get here if you haven't had coffee. I mean,
what time is it where you are, Adrian?
Yes. What time is it?
You weirdo.
Wow. Sapient Cephalopod asks the questions that inquiring minds are wanting to know. Sapient Cephalopod says, South Park was brilliant this week. Is Dora old enough for Epstein Island? Is the question.
Dora, don't tell me they had Dora the Explorer. Is that what they're saying? Dora the Explorer? That's the only Dora I know.
Yes, of course. That's I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Backpack.
Oh man, I forgot to hit the go live button over here. Is it live? Did it go live on its own?
Oh, on
Facebook.
What do you call it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm new to transmitting live on the Facebook, the Book of Faces. So let's see if it's doing it or. Normally, I have to hit a button that says go.
Is it live on Twitch too?
Yeah, it should be live on Twitch. We are twitching.
Okay. We're twitching.
So I'm going to go, hello, Twitch. And it'll even, if you're doing the thing over on Twitch, it should show up here on the chat on the screen. Boom. There we go. The Daily Atheist is Molly of Denali. Oh, no. Let's go here.
What the hell?
It just says starting. So maybe I should hit the start all button. Damn it, Chris. Damn it, Jim. I'm a nerd, not a nerd, I guess. Okay, I dropped the ball on that one. But anyway, it is going. We are now streaming on other places. That was an accident. I did that on
There we
purpose.
go. I got it. Okay. Sorry.
You
I was
got
trying
it.
to find the
Yes.
live stream for Twitch and I was like, I don't know how to use
Well,
Twitch yet. So
it would have been helpful had I been live streaming on Twitch. I wasn't until I hit that start all button just a few seconds ago.
oh, okay. That's why
See?
I was wondering why I couldn't find it. I was like, where is it? Because
Right.
usually it'll just pop right up for me.
Yeah. Well, this morning we've got a guest, and I was wrangling our guest. This morning is very nice of him to spend some time to get
Yes.
show up beforehand.
Like to get like
do
everything
stuff.
set up, make sure Mike is good, yada yada.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be joining us later on, at the top of the hour, whenever we run our commercial. That's
can't
pretty
wait.
consistent. Neuro Geezer is here. That's what we need to do. They are gerrymandering Texas to destroy 3 Democratic districts. Well, I want to mention that I don't see the top of that conversation, but I also noticed that it looks like the conservatives are talking to Illinois to see about doing some redistricting there. They know their policies are so bad that they've really got to do some serious hardcore gerrymandering to get out of this. And that's what they're
Instead
doing.
of just doing what the people that they're supposed to work for want, what they're requesting to keep themselves in office, they'll just find a way to make sure that nobody else can replace them. Like, what the
Right.
F?
Yeah. And it's amazing. Isn't it amazing how all these conservative politicians are so willing to serve one man and ignore the people millions of people they're actually supposed to be serving? And they are like Donald Trump's handmaidens, hand servants, or whatever you want to call them. I would say gentlemen of the throne. Any one of them would love to, especially I'm sure Lindsey Graham. If you know what the gentleman of the throne is, that's hilarious.
I do not.
Back in England, they would have I don't know how long ago, they used to have a man who would literally wipe the king's ass
Oh, really?
for him. It was an
Really?
honorable position. Yes, I wouldn't lie to you.
Stop
Have
it.
forgotten everybody. I know.
It was probably like, okay, honorable in the way, like, it's going to save my ass if I wipe his ass. And that in of itself is surviving. And I can
There you go.
get down with surviving.
I'm really hoping it was a very well-paying job. Is all I'm saying.
I would think that, because in the shitter, people talk a lot in the shitter. They didn't have
They
cell
do.
phones back in the day,
That's true.
but maybe that was like an inside scoop, literally.
Yeah, you probably formed a bond with the person who is wiping the crap off your ass. That's a good thought. Or no, you're like, don't make eye contact. Don't speak to him. Don't make eye contact. In and out, buddy. In and out.
No, I
I
didn't
don't
mean
care
to
if there's blood
literally.
on the brush. Get out. Get out. That's fucked up.
Oh man, something's wrong with us.
Yes, a lot. I think a lot. Whoever had that job really cleaned up. They really did. I wonder, it's just there had to be a person at one time. It's probably, I'm going to say I'm not. I'm one of those people who doesn't feel it's right that the last bastion of comedy, or the last group of people you can actually pick on without regard is overweight people. It seems like fat jokes, or everybody can do a fat joke. It doesn't seem to matter.
Oh,
Seems to be
yes,
the last group you can pick on. I don't really agree with that. So you
I
won't
agree.
tend to
I
see
agree
me
with not
doing
agreeing.
Okay. That being said, I'm almost certain it was one of those overweight kings back in the 1800s or some business like that, who really probably had a hard time reaching his own business.
I'm sure.
And that's probably where that stemmed from, I would guess. Yes. If I had to think. Deviant Outcast is here. I'm sure. Did they do that? Let's see. It's not of the throne. It's of the stool. Okay. I'm sorry. Of the stool. Yeah. The gentleman of the stool. Highly coveted because it gave you private access to the king and access to the king's privates.
There's like literally everything we say is a double entendre in this situation. Like everything
It is.
come out of our mouth.
Oh, you just can't help it, can you?
Can't
I
help
know. But just imagine being that job. You'd want like there'd be this sponge you're going to stick up in there, but you're going to like want to have like a feather thing up there to tickle his jigglies.
I wonder
You know.
if the happy ending was part of the
Or
deal.
reach around. Yeah, I don't know. You had access to the king's jewels. That is very true, Godwin. Ryan, you beautiful lioness, deviant outcast. Look at you go. That's awesome. The hair is fantastic. You've got a hair that you know how to do stuff with.
Well,
Yes. Whenever,
this is just woken up, brushing hair, but I will take it.
Yes. Paul Rothwell Smith. What do you mean? Fat or big people? Split your hair. Good morning, Paul. Nice to meet you. I think you know what I mean. I was trying to make my point clear. I just don't think it's, you could probably go back and find me doing it. It's just one of those things that it wasn't until somebody said it and I was like, you know what? They're right. I mean, you can't really trash on anybody nowadays, but somebody who has an eating problem. And, I've had one. So I know it's not that easy, So at that point I was like,
health disorders. I mean, consider at this moment where people are losing their health care, a lot of things can be attributed to thyroid problems, hormonal problems, things that are undetected, that no matter what you do, you'll never be able to take off any weight. And now they won't even, people wouldn't even be able to get the health care that they need.
Yes. Let me just make sure here. Gotta run. Lee, later. Godwin, thank you for joining us at this ungodly hour. Fat people don't mind. I think some people probably do. I'm just saying they probably do. I was one. I didn't know. I mean, I say I was one. I was never a fat person like you would think a fat person. I just had body image issues, like a lot of women have, in fact. But I've had my closest friend is a gentleman of overweight, a lipid positive, if you will, individual. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those things. If you know about the health issues they deal with, especially when they go later in life, you'd be a little gentler on them. I'm just saying. Morning show. It was a practice stemming back to the medieval times in the UK, 16th or 17th century. The position came more of a symbolic one. Henry VIII had a gentleman of the stool. Henry VIII was a rather girthy individual.
Wowsies.
I think one of the kings also had a special rig mounted so he could copulate with women and not crush them.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen some sex chairs or beds, I don't know what you'd call it, devices, medieval sex devices.
Yes.
Excuse me is right.
If only Nancy and Patty were here, they would be able to talk us through some of those devices, like the St. Andrew's cross. I think that's more of a modern invention, but it's fun for the whole conversation we're talking about. Dave Murphy is here. Good morning, David Murphy. Dave. I don't know why I keep wanting to call you Dave, man. Dave's not here.
The cup right there.
I got Dave right here. That's what I was going to say. I'm bragging. It's Friday. I got my Friday shirt on. I got my Dave Murphy. Yeah, Dave Murphy. What the hell's wrong with me? Dave Murphy cup right here. Doing the thing at the place.
Don't mind Chris. He's just stroking out a little bit this morning.
Yes. Yes. So you saw my arm move? Sorry.
All right. Trump.
That's an HR complaint right there. Yeah. Creator, nice people. I'm sorry. I made a sexy joke.
You're done.
Like, damn it. Let's see here. Ryan, oh yeah, I see let me catch up with everybody. I've always struggled. A lot of people have struggled with their weight. And it's just a tough thing. It's just one of those things that I don't tend to find funny anymore. There was a time when I did. It doesn't work for me for reasons. I got reasons. Now, there are things where you see like heavy people in comedy movies or something where they are body positive and just going on. And I love that. That's awesome. I love it. Seeing that sort of thing. There was what is it? Oh man, I ripped the movie, the first Ripped, R.I.P.D. with, I don't know. It's a stupid movie. It's a ghost kind of gun movie. There's this guy, he's kind of a girthy, redheaded kind of guy, and he's just going on, and he's just got it all. He's got some swag. I thought he was pretty cool. I'm just saying, it's about personality and all that business. I'm not cool with.
Well, I think the entertainment should reflect true life. I think that we should see people living their best life as people do naturally. I think it's weird to only see a certain kind of person, and that gives you eating disorders without even really knowing that's what's happening. You're absorbing what you're seeing and comparing yourself to these images of people like Sydney Sweeney in her religion.
Oh, right. Yeah, I've been trying not to compare myself.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're right. Well, all this fun stuff coming from the topic of Gentlemen of the Stool. That's what we're talking about all this because of. That's what started this whole rabbit hole we're going down. Yeah. Anyway, Cephalin Sepla. In America, we have to make our food less nutritious. This fact alone raises concern. I don't know that we have to make it less nutritious. I don't know, but I get what you're saying. I don't want to be the one splitting hairs out of that. I get what you're saying. We have to make it less delicious because we can't control ourselves.
I think we all should just eat liquid food. Like, just turn everything into just like a serving. Like, this is what you get. Just
that would be wonderful, wouldn't it? You just like took a shot and then a pill for your nutrients.
Dunzo. Nothing more to think about. Take the enjoyment out of it. Take the hatred out of it. Just make it easy.
Yeah. Kind of lost me at the enjoyment part.
Eating's the only enjoyment I get in my day. Just kidding.
Yeah, no, I get you. I have I've got Ozempic that I've been taking. I take half my little prescription or whatever. But even with that, I still eat way too much and cravings and all this business. It's a challenge. It's not easy. It's not something easy. Time to be heading to the library. Yes, later. Right-handed Sith, thank you for joining this morning.
Diablo.
Rational Poet Jackie says my exercise bike hates me. I used to have one of those. I used to have a Bowflex, and I have to say, a Bowflex is, man, I tell you, if you need to like hang several pairs of clothes, like towels or jackets, you can hold a Bowflex will hold a lot of clothes.
Wow.
I'm just saying, don't get another Don't go get another like closet organizer thing if you got a Bowflex. Well, because you ain't using it to work out with. So,
it has the purpose. You just don't use it for the purpose.
Yes, that's true. That's a good point. Cardio sucks. Anyone who struggled with the gym might want to weight train. Oh, I tell you, safety at Cephalopod. That's great advice. I want to tell you, I tried to outrun my diet for so long whenever I was younger, in my 20s and teens, 20s, 30s. Always trying to outrun my diet, thinking I could go out there and do cardio and walk around the block, and that was somehow going to make me skinny and I could eat whatever I want. Never realizing, you start working out and you start putting on some muscle, you get to actually eat. You eat quite a bit.
I mean, so I walk every day, 5 to 6 times a day, approximately 1 mile to 2 miles each time. I walk pickles. And then I go to the gym 3 times a week where I weight train for about a half hour to 45 minutes with a trainer. And I still look like this. Like I can't lose weight. It won't, like, no matter what, unless I actually starved myself. That would be the only way for me to lose weight. For whatever reason, it just does not happen for me. I'm muscular, but I can't trim down. It's just not for me, I guess.
Maybe it's because I'm just, I don't know. I've seen many TikTok videos of yours and stuff like that, and I would be a person who wouldn't think you would need to slim down. Ooh, see how I navigated that? So awesome.
You actually did. You did really well, Chris. I have to say. I'm not like hi. I speak English.
I know.
I just have a body dysmorphia. I just like many of us. I have body dysmorphia things. I get frustrated with myself, but I'm trying to, at this point in my life, just live healthier and just accept I am who I am. I am where I am, and just be happy about it.
And tacos are delicious.
I mean, all kinds of tacos too. Just saying.
So, I'm just saying. Oh, X is here. Her. She speaks English. Yeah, I only needed one of those. That's cute. Yeah, that's yeah, that's cute. Love you. Bye-bye. I let people get away with a lot of shit.
They were joking. That was a joke, wasn't it?
Her. She speaks English. What low IQ trash? I don't think if that individual. I think that individual is calling you low IQ trash.
And this brings up another thing. Like for me, I thought that was a joke. Like I thought it was funny, but you see it as something insulting. And this, I'm saying, but listen. This happens to me a lot, where other people were like you're not insulting. I'm like, no, why would I be? So I sometimes I feel like I don't get things other people get. And that happens in my comments all the time. And I'm like, should I reply being a jerk? Or should I reply like it's funny? Because I actually don't know if it was an insult.
I very much appreciate your blindness in that department. And I'm just going to trust my own feelings on that one. Okay. I'm not going to, but
I'm saying, like, in general, that's just a thing I have where I just sometimes don't know.
That's awesome. Okay, I understand. Well, I mean, no, I'm just saying I understand. In this particular case, but I understand. So if I see it happening again, I'm like, hey, you should be insulted. Go kick his ass.
Ryan?
Yes.
Be insulted.
I'm just kind of checking here in the chat. Good morning, Kelly Laughlin. Thank you for joining us. Big Zebra says, did I miss the special guest? No, the special guest starts the second hour. He'll be here in about half an hour. I think that's... Yes, he does start the second hour. And I did it right. I learned how to say his name, I think. Steve Ghikadis.
Ghikadis?
Ghikadis. Or Ghikadis. Or Ghikadis.
We're going to find out soon, I think.
We'll find out soon. Yes, Kelly says, I am consistently surprised at how some people can be. So true. Kelly, the Detroit Queen asked a question. Yeah, you just don't, what they said was just, we just don't, we're moving on. And I don't mind some argument. You've seen me put up with a lot of shit from some Christians, but to come in and attack Miss Ryan, and I mean, she ain't always right.
How dare you? I'm very smart.
She is smart. Did I say that? I did say that. Okay.
My mother told me. I'm very smart.
Gotcha. Steve says, I'll be there soon. You got it right the first time.
I don't remember what you said the first time. Okay, sure.
I was going to say that too. Whatever comes off the brain. Let's see. Bomb Poppy, did someone just insult Ryan? Because I need an excuse to tune someone up. I know, right? They're gone. Sometimes I put up with shit. Sometimes I don't. There's just certain kinds of shit I don't put up with. Ryan was having a hard time speaking because she's low IQ trash. And this person in the chat.
Were you insulting me, Chris?
Felt the need to point that shit out. I'm like, hey, you don't be pointing that shit out on my channel. I'm sorry, Ryan. I'm a bad person. 1,000 apologies.
It's funny.
And that's what we're doing this morning. All right, I think what it is now, because we've got Adrian, damn it, what the hell's going on? I'm low IQ trash. I'll tell you that for another. What we're going to do, we've got a guest coming in at the second hour of the show. And so we're going to normally I've kind of been pushing the theocracy off to the top of the hour, but we're going to do it a little early this morning. So here we go. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this a commercial so Ryan can get a break, find her center, not her sinner.
Hopefully find my words.
Yes, her words, her English smart people words. Yes. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give y'all some goat. You want some goat? I think we'll do some goat this morning. Here we go. Here's some goat. Take this goat and shove it.
Have you sinned again? Oh, and it's bad this time. A chicken just won't do. But wait, you don't have a goat for your burnt offering. Oh, no. The Lord's wrath is upon you.
Insignificant person whose name I don't know, you have sinned. Probably. I shall smite thee.
What do? You're all out of goats. She left you for another man.
Fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented flesh candles.
No goat? No problem. Just light one of these bad boys and let the sweet, savory scent of burning goat flesh rise up to the heavens.
Is that goat?
It's easy, it's fast, and deluxe models even have patented technology that produces a goat screaming sound as the wick burns.
Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented candles. Save a goat, burn a candle.
Father Flanagan's line of goat-scented flesh candles are part of our You Do You Jew interfaith outreach program.
When you sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. When the Lord requires that pungent smell, light a candle or you're going to hell.
Which God are you talking about? There you go. Oh, we got goats. People got goats. So I'm glad to see your goats. Yes, Giles, that's exactly what I was doing. How did you know? Did I say something? Anyway, Paul Rothwell says God still loves you. Why? Does God love you though? Really? Would somebody who loved you burn you in a pit of fire for eternity, or deny you their presence if that was the case for eternity, just for like minute sins? Would they really? Is that? What about wacky tobacco? Yes, that's right, Kelly. You know, the problem is, I mean, you just can't do it on the show.
I like that wacky tobacco.
Jazz cabbage. I have never heard that before.
You never heard that?
I have not, but that I dig me some jazz cabbage. I mean, yeah, I dig it.
It's very jazzy.
God told me in a chat once, it's okay to smoke the devil's lettuce. He does too. See, if God said so. And you know where I heard that? I heard that from somebody on the internet who told me about it via personal experience. They had personal experience. So it must be true. Clearly.
Obviously. That's all you need.
Kelly is a bad habit to have, and if you need to quit cigarettes, do it now. If you smoke cigarettes, you're a person should really kind of move away from those. I'm into the weed myself, and I should probably quit that as well. Poisoned ivy didn't affect me until I mulched it into paste and spread it on my bare legs via gas powdered engine. Oh wow, Larry! Good morning, Larry.
Bad.
It's been a while.
So bad.
Oh man.
Have you ever heard of people like catching it because they didn't realize it was poison ivy or what have you, poison oak, and burnt, like had a burn pile, and then
no, I hadn't heard that.
Allegedly, I mean, I don't know. That's what I've heard.
Well, we here at the house, I was doing some work outside. We have some bushes, and I was doing some work out the bushes, and I saw a plant that was like an ivy that was moving from one hedge-like bush to another hedge-like bush. It was rather lovely, but I am not stupid. So I took a picture of it, and my phone, there's some way your phone will tell you what it is.
Right.
I don't know how to do it. So I sent it to the evil one, and the evil one said it was okay. It was kind of lovely, and go ahead and leave it there. So I did. But I was fully ready to pull it out because I was worried it was some sort of poison oak or poison something. It was going to get me back for some of my sins, and I didn't want none of that business.
Okay, so I am right. The smoke gets in your lungs. I just because I've lived in the woods, around the woods, like practically my whole life. So.
Wowzers. Godwin says that commercial is so funny. I bet Christians wouldn't get the joke because they never read the book. Yeah. Godwin, I've got a few of those little commercials, and there's some of them that you'll see, my friend. You'll see. If you hang out long enough, you'll see. Therapists are standing by because for that very reason. I'm going to go ahead and do this so I don't forget about it. I'll hit this theocracy watch, and we're going to see what Ryan has got.
What's I got?
What you
You're tuned into the Atheist Morning Show on the Dan Network. And this is Theocracy Watch.
We really need to stop with this false.
A man who once called vaccines a holocaust is now in charge of America's public health, and his first big move is to pull the plug on mRNA vaccine research. Welcome back to Theocracy Watch, fellow skeptics, where fringe science and political clout thrive in the murk, and we are the beam slicing through the darkness. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a man who spent decades in the anti-vaccine trenches, has cut federal funding for mRNA vaccine research, the very technology that powered COVID-19 vaccines and saved millions of lives. Less than 2 years after a pandemic that reshaped the world, and with epidemiologists warning of new variants, Kennedy is taking away one of our best tools for fighting what comes next. Research centers, universities, international collaborations that rely on U.S. support now face a funding gap that could stall vaccine development entirely. Years of taxpayer-funded research abandoned midstream means data wasted. Defenses against emerging. Should I keep going? How about this? I'm going to go back just a little bit so you can cut it at the end. Years of taxpayer-funded research abandoned midstream means loss of data, wasted billions, and fewer defenses against emergent diseases, not just in America, but globally. Kennedy has a record of years spreading doubt about vaccines, promoting pseudoscience theories with little to no scientific basis, and elevating health scares long debunked by decades of research, like claims about cell phone and Wi-Fi radiation. While mRNA technology proves its worth in real time, he's steering resources towards causes that wouldn't pass a high school science project. His nonprofit, Children's Health Defense, is suing major news organizations alleging antitrust collusion to suppress their content through the Trusted News Initiative. Recently, the U.S. Department of Justice filed a statement of interest backing CHD's argument that viewpoint competition deserves the Sherman Act protection. In 2022, CHD pulled in over $23 million, its best year yet, fueled by wealthy anti-vaccine activists, far-right political networks, and dark money nonprofits. He himself has received nearly $2.6 million in total compensation from CHD between 2017 and 2023. Many of the donors stand to gain from this shifting federal health priority towards fringe projects. He's also floated the idea that COVID was ethnically targeted, questioned vaccines like polio, and pushed to roll back public health requirements in schools. Connected to far-right donors, anti-vaccine PACs, and Republican operatives, he now controls one of the largest public budgets in the world. He's also personally invested in Bitcoin, a high-pollution currency that's the polar opposite of the environmental values he claims to champion. This HHS oversees Medicare, Medicaid, the CDC, FDA, and the NIH, putting those agencies under the sway of untrained, unqualified leadership that swaps proven science for pseudoscience doesn't just weaken pandemic preparedness. It's the kind of performative governance that dogmatic Christians excel at, caring more about the perception of moral leadership than the action of protecting lives. We didn't just hand America's health to an anti-vaccine crusader. We gave him this scalpel to slice our defenses. If the next pandemic rips through this country, it won't be because science failed us. It will be because we let someone who rejects turn public health into ideological theater, where faith is wielded as a prop and salvation is promised through faith, not preparation. If only we could inoculate ourselves from stupidity. So until next time, that's been Theocracy Watch.
If only. Sorry about the technical problems there at the beginning.
Okay. I just saw it flash and I was like, did I just see something out of the corner? Because I have it like placed so I can see the on-air thing.
Yeah. Well, what happened was I hit a commercial, and then as soon as I did and it started to run, I hit the button back to you. But you know how it
and then it does the automatic thing.
Thank you for doing the beautiful thing and figured it out. Now, yes, this whole deal, the conversation going on in the chat is about how they are going after them with a DOJ. My understanding is the DOJ and FBI are both they're trying to bring both of them in to go and arrest the Democrats who are trying to stop them from illegally gerrymandering more things. I mean, it's just crazy what's going on in our country right now.
Yeah. I, from my point of view, it all seems to be coming from a certain demographic of Christian. Not saying there's not other people that are involved in this, but it's heavy leaning towards those who preferred to overlook people's horrible mistakes and inability to do the job, like Abraham. Like, not a good person, but it's okay if he sells his wife. Oh, it's okay if he calls vaccine a Holocaust, just as long as he claims to care about the same God, all's good in the hood.
Yeah. Yes, there's a lot going on that is very disturbing
Morally
right now.
bankrupt. Just
Absolutely. Completely.
absolutely.
And again, there's no one can stop him. I mean, Donald Trump just keeps getting richer and richer and richer. He's got so much money. Doesn't matter who you are. He can just come in and buy you out, buy your company out, threaten you with a legal action or whatever he wants to do. You know, it's just, who's going to stop him?
The Bibles, he got the shoes. He's got the cryptocurrency.
That's where the money started.
Coins, you name it. He's got a license with his name, you know, licensed out.
Yep. So sure enough, and it's really disturbing how he is so stupid wealthy now off the back of us here in the United States and our country and our poor, in fact. And yet he's so unwilling to do anything. Matter of fact, he continues to do destructive things. Watching RFK Jr. go through with a bat and destroying the inner workings of this country's healthcare system is just horrific. And why isn't anybody stopping them? They're literally going after the antivirus or virus research and everything.
And the fact that there's not anything in its place. Like if you were say, oh, hey, this is better research. Look, this is performing better.
Oh, right.
But we don't even have anything like that. It's like, this ain't doing as good as we'd like it to. So let's just not do anything at all. That's an answer. That's a solution. Said no one ever.
Right. It's just, yeah.
Well,
and now what do we do?
Seatbelts don't save every single life. So I think we should just take them out of cars. That
makes sense. Damn those seatbelts.
You know?
Yeah. No.
Until they do 100% of the job, it's nonsense.
Yeah. And airbags too. You know, they're only a percentage of work. Yeah. So we should get rid of those things
too. They actually harm you, Chris.
They do.
Have you ever had an airbag in your face?
That's true. No, but I don't want to. That's why I'm so pretty.
So I think that we should just recall those as well.
I think so. You know, again, Donald Trump, I can't say it enough. He's done everything to destroy this country. You know, how much debt are we going to go in? Just the lives alone. You know, the lives alone that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are going to take or have taken through the kinds of things they're doing. If a person on the street went around with a knife and unalived that many people, they'd be a mass murderer of the fantastic amount. But yet these guys are still treated like royalty, flying around in their golden airplanes, living in their palaces. What the fuck is going on? And then what happens is then there's this notion that we can't speak poorly about the rich. Well, as far as violence towards them, they commit violence towards us all the time. By the millions of us are killed with the pen. But we talk about returning that violence with the sword because that's the only thing we got. And no, that's not a good idea. You know,
you're bad. It's okay that they kill us slowly.
Yes,
there's
a better solution. We got to be diplomatic.
Let them kill us slowly. You have to let them do it. Else we're just racist against rich people. Very true. We're classist.
Theoretically asks, by the way, do you all smoke weed pure in the USA? No, neither pure weed nor all of us. Yeah. Let's see. Zebra and next COVID will be even worse. I know. Hello, Chris and Ryan. Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, Robin. That's one of the things they're already talking about. There's bound to be some other virus or something coming. And I thought I had seen some news reports of new things in the works. And yet they're disabling everything we've got to combat that. Of course, they've already gone off the CDC. Remember the CDC website? What does it say now? All it says now is something like the COVID vaccine, the COVID virus was a lab leak hoax or lab leak from China or some business. You know, I don't know if that's still there, but they gutted that stuff. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm looking. I was trying to see myself.
No, you go ahead and do that. I'm looking up something else, actually.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so there was a news article. Let me find out when. Yes. So did you find something on what we were talking about? Oh, somebody here in the chat. Let's see here.
Treatment. This doesn't really say anything.
Well, let me real quick while you do that. I want to mention for those of you who don't know, Donald Trump, his administration removed several articles from the official U.S. government website, from articles from the Constitution, from their website, as pointed out by Sleuths. The changes were made in the past month. And so several Reddit threads, it says, have identified the changes in Article 1 of the U.S. Constitution. Large parts of Section 8 have been removed, and Section 9 and Section 10 have been deleted altogether. Let me see here, because this is not, remember, I've been saying Donald Trump he's attacking the Constitution. And this is just another example of how he's literally attacking the Constitution. Literally. It's his job to protect it, and he's destroying it. He's already preparing to undermine it and all these things. And let me go here.
It's just a piece of paper to him.
Yes. Let's see.
Yeah, basically, Brent, everybody is doing whatever they can to kiss up to Trump, to get in his good graces. Which, similarly, I don't understand that methodology, because I would consider it like similar to God. Why suck up to God? At the end of the day, he'd kill you if he wanted to. He'd kill you if you were standing next to the guy he wanted to get. So just like Trump, you might do whatever you can to lick his ass and get in his good graces, but he'll turn on a dime, and he would happily take you out if it meant he could get the bad guy or the person he wants next to you. Why kiss up to a psychopath like that? There's no loyalty there.
Right. No, there's not. He's proven over and over again he'll turn on any one of them. All they have to do is say bad things about him. One bad thing, and he's done. One of the things here says Article 1, Section 9, which they completely removed, sets limits on Congress, such as banning ex post facto laws. So prohibiting titles of nobility, restricting suspension of habeas corpus, except in emergencies, and outlining rules on taxation and spending. They've removed that. Now, this is just a quick breakdown. This is not word for word of what Article 9 or 10 is. Article 10, Section 10 it lists limits on states, such as banning treaties, coining money, passing ex post facto laws. See, so a lot of this I don't think this is good at all. This is given a lot of rights to a lot of people who shouldn't have these rights, especially the ex post facto laws. It's like passing laws that just seem to make sense. Is kind of how I'm reading that. And granting titles of nobility. But there's supposed to be limits on these things, and they remove them. Anyway, or keeping troops in peacetime. That's another one. Or keeping troops in peacetime without Congress's consent. They got rid of that one too. So.
Right, because he has his own Gestapo that are getting bonuses to sign up. More, I mean, I've seen news reports of police, whatever the fuck, getting pissed off because their guys are leaving for ICE.
Really?
Because they're getting paid. Because I doubt cops are getting paid that much money. I don't know. What do cops get paid? Maybe 50K, 40K? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, but the experienced ones, I guess.
But you could do the same exact job practically and get paid double the amount and get your college loans paid off. Mm-hmm. Who wouldn't do that?
It's crazy, isn't it? They can't afford flood relief in Texas.
No.
Billions
or vote on it, or even get everybody in the same room so they can vote on handling it. Yeah. Rather, freaking big old toddler baby boy, Mike Johnson, is over in Israel instead of being here getting people together so that way they can handle the disaster that happened and get people the help that they've paid for. They paid into this.
It's all about raping the public. I mean, the conservatives, was sucking Donald Trump's ass and raping the public. I want to check out our poll today real quick. I want to, because it's relative to our guest who's coming up here in just a little bit. We have author Steve Ghikadis joining us this morning to discuss his book, Humanism from the Heart. I knew I had the name of that somewhere. What are your thoughts on humanism? What's the most important value humanism brings to society? These are the questions. And compassion, empathy, critical thinking and reason, secular ethics and morality, or your own little thing. There are a lot, if you ask me, that humanism brings to the table. All of those things. All in any of those were an option to be listed. Says good things about humanism. Now, our guest here in just a few more minutes, in about 10 minutes, we're going to have Steve here. He's going to talk about it. He's the author of that book on it. And so the link is already up there. I'm kind of priming you guys for this. So go vote. And whenever we bring him on here in a little bit, we'll talk about it. We'll see what he has to say on it. Jesse James time. It's amazing astronauts are able to send probes to explore and discover a lot. But it is. But they're if we're talking politics, they're actually hamstringing almost every scientific endeavor our government has been helping or funding, or they're just completely gutting all that stuff. I was talking to my neighbor, and he was telling me about his. I'm not going to say which neighbor, right? I got lots of neighbors. I was talking to a neighbor, I guess, and he was telling me that he believes his wife has Alzheimer's. They're older. Oh. And we talked about how it's unfortunate. They've made so much progress, but now all the funding is being pulled. And what does that mean for people like that?
No hope.
My understanding is the first person to survive to survive Alzheimer's is alive today. If you know what I mean by that. Most of the time, they all die from it, but we'll get a cure, and the person, and so we're so close. We're so close, which I think is good for me, because I've been abusing my memory for years.
We know far more about it than we did, even 10, 20 years ago. One of my good friends' father passed away from Alzheimer's. So it's really, it's something that a lot of us may have, may end up with. So it would be prudent for us to want research for it.
Right. And, I don't want to be, there are a lot of different forms of dementia, and there's certain ones that are caused by certain things. There's one of the biggies, I don't remember, it's considered like type 3 diabetes. It's like a result of it's another result of your brain being overrun with
starved
sugars.
Or something. Right.
Yeah. Running hot for too long with sugars. Stuff like that. So they consider, if you look up type 3 diabetes, I think there's some other countries that even consider it. See, I don't want to say all of Alzheimer's, right? I just say one of them, because one branch of dementia. We also talked about Robin Williams on the show the other day. My hero, and a sufferer of Lewy body syndrome, which is another form of Alzheimer's.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah. Another Lewy bodies are proteins in the brain that accumulate and build up abnormally so, and it causes problems, motor problems, memory problems, stuff like that. So now, Sapient Cephalopod says gut-brain connection is a big in research now. This is a good one too.
Yes, that's been like a huge discovery. Seeing the connection. Yeah, so I'm always telling Hubs to take care of his gut health, because he's been on a swath of freaking antibiotics, leading up to all this. So his gut is fucked.
Ruh-roh. And not in a good kind of way.
No, not the good gut fucking. Beating them guts up.
That that is awesome. So, but I hope he gets better. But there are a lot of things. Let's see, Miss Non Sequiturs here. Good morning, Miss Non Sequitur. Thank you for joining us. Says Boo. I hope the fact that I don't care much for sweets will save me from my bread obsessions. Oh, save you, but your bread obsessions. Yeah, those sorts of things. If you drink alcohol,
I eat bread every effing day, man.
Bread turns into sugar. Alcohol turns into sugar. So you didn't have to be a sweets addicted person, and you don't have to be a lipid blessed person.
Pardon.
You know, you can be, there are a number of ways that you can get that one that we refer to as type 3 diabetes. Let's see. God hates yeast, according to Sapient Cephalopod. Don't leaven that bread, bitch.
Anti-yeast.
Yes. But you know, the evil one, she is actually big into that as well. Gut health. She was going around doing these things for a while. What are they? These drinks you drink, you buy
Like probiotic,
something like that. Yeah.
or kombucha or something. I don't know.
Yes, exactly that.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
Yes.
That's supposed to be good for your gut. I've never had it.
Yeah. I don't. Wait, is it kombucha? It's a drink, right?
Mhm.
Where it's got like
A
okay. She
mother?
drinks that stuff.
Yeah, like it has
Yeah.
a mother or something in it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So she drinks that stuff, and she did for a while, and then she kind of quit. So I guess
Well, it's probably also
Her stomach's tough.
expensive.
Oh well, it wasn't too expensive to afford. We just think you can buy it down at the Walmart for
Oh, okay.
for the benefit. It wasn't that bad.
I guess they sell it everywhere now then, because before it
guess so.
seemed like you could only go to like a health food store and you'd find kombucha, but now it's probably
Yeah.
so popular that now is it as good? I wonder. Don't know.
Yeah. Ways to Human is here. Good morning, AJ. Gut health is one of the
AJ.
reasons I eat plant-based. Animal products mess with my gut in a bad way.
Some people they do.
Interesting. Yeah, some people they do. Very true. There's a lot. Is it kombucha? Yeah, I think that is. It feels kind of right. The word feels almost right. God hates yeast more just based on the number of verses about the subject. Yeah, I guess he probably more than what? Let's see. Good morning, Amy and Nicole Cervantes. Okay, guys, I tell you what, it's time for us to take a quick commercial. I'm going to run our long one, Wild Bill 2, so we'll have plenty of time to get our guest and ready to go. Here in just a minute, whenever we come back, we will have Steve Ghikadis joining us. He is the author of Humanism from the Heart. We're going to talk to him and find out what humanism is and all that other good stuff. I'm sure we know what it is, but you know what I mean. We're going to find out about his book. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be back in just a minute. Yes. Hello, and welcome to Shakespeare with a Redneck. Finally, I'm Wild Bill Wigglestick, and this is my trusty sidekick, Willie the Kid. And we'll be your handsome hosts, your gilded guide, your cowboys, concierges to Shakespeare. Oh, how cute. Wait, is that at 2, Ollie? Run along, little doggy. Bill, where the hell have you been? Well, I've been roaming the earth, going back and forth upon it, to and fro and whatnot. I like to travel too. Wait a second. Yep, back and forth upon earth, doing unto others before they do unto me. Bill, are you quoting the Bible? Trying to quote the Bible? Indeed I am. Despite my appearance, I am a man of culture and know many things, not just Shakespeare. Really? So you have a Shakespeare monologue related to atheism or skepticism? Indeed I do. Bear witness. Oh, this is going to be good. This is the excellent foppery of the world, that when we are sick in fortune, often the product of our own behavior, we make guilty of our disasters the sun, the moon, and stars, as if we were villains on necessity, fools by heavenly compulsion, knaves, thieves, and treacherous by spherical predominance, drunkards, liars, and adulterers by an enforced obedience of planetary influence, and all that we are evil in by a divine thrusting on. An admirable evasion of whoremaster man to lay his goatish disposition to the charge of a star. My father compounded with my mother under the dragon's tail, and my nativity was under Ursa Major, so that it follows I am rough and lecherous. I should have been that I am had the maidenliest star in the firmament twinkled on my bastardizing. Wow, that really is spot on about what we cover here on the channel about how, people. So here's a quick rundown of the situation. Bill, this non-believer, ignores the teachings of his learned father and ends up getting 4 people killed. Bill, that's not. Okay. Carry on. Shakespeare was a heathenistic non-believer bound for the fiery pits of hell, just like yourselves. I don't think. And in order to throw the murderous church of the time off his heathen trail, he writes the skeptic as a sneaking, lying, adulterated father and brother, hating and betraying villain who ends up getting his comeuppance in the end. Bill, oh, come on, man. You're always blah, blah, Bible stuff, blah, blah, boring. You got to spice things up. Bill, tacos are spicy. Everybody loves tacos. Bill, tacos and boobies. Okay, you're not wrong there either. Tasty and delicious culture, baby, coming at you. Avoid the storm of familial discontent. Blow winds and clap your cheeks by clicking that subscribe button and hitting that. Wait a second. Don't you mean crack your cheeks? Nope. Bill. Send safely, my friends. Take care.
Peace.
As well, so we'll just keep
and
going.
We're back. And we are back. And here we are with Steve. I was a little worried that the show wouldn't look okay. It looks okay. I think we're gonna rock with it like this. Looks good.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve, for joining us. How are you doing
thanks
today?
for having me.
How's it going today?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm just waiting to go to Baja Con. So Blue Water Atheist Humanists Agnostics Convention, Sarnia, Ontario, just across the bridge from Port Huron, Michigan. So yeah, no, it's gonna be great. Just another weekend, get to see some familiar faces and meet some new people.
Yeah.
I'm actually
camaraderie.
jelly of you. Sorry, Ryan.
No, I was just saying camaraderie. I think it kind of puts a little pep in your step.
Oh yeah,
A little more
yeah.
spirited after, hanging out with people with like mind, just like at your, Christian conventions, etc.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I would argue even better. But I mean, I got to meet Chris for the first time in real life at NanoCon just not too long ago, a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
And I see some guests in the chatters in. AJ was there, Kelly was there, Robin was there. Oh, it was just a blast. It's just great.
It was
great
a
time.
blast.
Incredible people.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Now you were saying during the break.
So
What were you telling us?
No more good stuff. No more good stuff.
No. What? I learned about this guy. I'll just mute him between breaks. No, you were saying between breaks, though, that about Seth Andrews and your book. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, no. So what I was saying with Seth Andrews is that I did my own audiobook. So when I originally, actually, SR had reached out to me to say, hey, do you want me to do your audiobook? And I was like, oh, that's a really cool offer because SR's voice is amazing too. Mm-hmm. And I just thought, that'd be so cool. But then when I was doing some research, and Dr. Del Rey from RFR, because I also volunteer with them, he told me, he's like, you know what, people want to hear the author do the book. So I'm like, okay. So I had to, let SR down very gently, say like, I really appreciate you reaching out and, wanting money for this, but no, he's great. I ended up doing it myself, but I was saying I was channeling my inner Seth Andrews. So when I read the book, the audiobook version of it, I try and throw that Seth Andrews spin on there.
Awesome. Yeah, he's fantastic. Somebody good to emulate if you're gonna emulate anybody.
Yeah,
it'll bring all the ladies to the yard.
Well, yeah, I know. That's what.
Now, here's the thing: you're going to be in Baja Con again.
Yep.
Seth Andrews, huh? Yeah.
Seth Andrews will be there. Yep.
He'll be there. You'll be selling books, probably, right?
Yeah, I'll have a few there.
Is it correct that if somebody is there and they purchase one of those books, they'll get your signature and possibly even Seth Andrews' signature on the foreword? Is that right?
Well, actually, it was Anthony Magnabosco that wrote the foreword.
I was testing you. You passed.
Yeah.
Keep your story straight. I got you. You were able to keep your story straight. Carry on.
Wrong nice guy. It's a different nice guy. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But no, so Anthony Magnabosco, we were it was so amazing to see him at NanoCon because you know, it was kind of a surprise. You know, he said he might be there, and I'm like, oh yeah, maybe. You know, and then when he showed up, it was like, oh man, I'm gonna get you to sign my book because he wrote the foreword to it. And anyone else that was there, I know AJ also got his signature on the book as well, because he did write the foreword, and he wrote me an amazing foreword that puts the rest of the book to shame. So I mean, you know, if you're gonna buy it, just buy it for the foreword.
Just read the forward and then
Just read the foreword and then burn the rest of it. You know what I mean?
At least you make money from it.
Will he be there? Or just he won't be there?
He won't be there this time. He lives in San Antonio, so I think it's a bit of a trek for him. So
yeah, that's quite a ways. Yes. Ways of Human is here. She says he signed hers too. Yes, very true.
Oh, yeah.
Ambushed Apostate. Ryan, Seth is here, and he's giving Ryan some hugs. And Vesta Freya showed up. Good morning, Vesta. We have got our guest, Steve Ghikadis.
That's right.
Yep,
you got it.
Awesome song. Steve Ghikadis. He is the author of Humanism from the Heart, or Humanist from the Heart. Which is it?
Yeah, it's Humanism from the Heart. And then the subtitle is Building Bridges Beyond Belief. I like to go with the alliteration. I think my next book is actually going to be called Humanism at Hand, Practical Principles for Peaceful Partnerships.
Ooh.
So
there you go.
A lot of alliteration.
So I went with P's the first time and P's the second time. So
there you go. I'm going to put you Biggie up on the screen. Would you like to, if you don't mind, tell us about this? Tell us about your book. Well, first of all, I guess maybe what got you into this? Let's go with that first.
Sure. Yeah. So hi everyone. I'm Steve Ghikadis. So I grew up non-religious. I was baptized Anglican actually, and never really attended church, or you know, maybe once in a while, like Christmas and Easter and that type of thing. But I know I grew up in kind of a melting pot of people. There was different backgrounds and beliefs, and I kind of went to different churches and mosques and synagogues and things like that, and kind of just saw religion for what it was, which is, you know, a meaningful story that, you know, people tell each other and pass on to the next generation. And, you know, there's definitely some good things you can get from religion. There's definitely some not so good things. So I kind of went through a phase where I was an atheist, just not caring about religion. You know, just wasn't a big thing in my life. Didn't really mean anything to me. And I met my wife, and my wife is a Christian. And at the time, it didn't really mean anything to me. I'm like, yeah, okay, that probably means that she's a good person, because I don't really know anything about religion, other than, you know, what you hear about in the news or whatever when it comes to, you know, people being kind and nice if they're religious. And at the same time, I had joined the Masonic Lodge as a promise to my late grandfather. So when I joined the Masonic Lodge, they said, you need to believe in a higher power. And I'm thinking like, okay, I guess when I walk under power lines, I can say that it's higher than me. So I guess it's a higher power. And yeah, they let me in. So, I mean, you know, kudos to them. You know, at the same time, I was going through the Masonic Lodge, and it was very religious and very Christian, that they don't really tell you before you get in. But they basically put a bag over your head. They walk you through the door. They have a sword to your heart, and they say, how do you come? And someone whispers in my ear, in peace. So I go, in peace? And they're like, okay, great. And they remove the sword, and then they take you to this altar, and they nail you down, and they pull the bag off your head, and they say, who do you put your faith in or trust in? And someone whispers in my ear, in God. So I was like, in God? With a question mark? And they're all like, yay, hail God, or whatever the hell they said. And anyway, that was like basically the initiation. So needless to say, I didn't really stick around too long. It got very, you know, intense. There was a lot of Bible stories, which is kind of cool because I got to learn about the Bible through the Masonic Lodge, and they were basically showing me in like these plays how stories of the Bible were how they played out. And I'm like, oh, okay, there's some weird questionable stuff in this, you know. So eventually I asked for a demit, which is to be released from the Masonic Lodge, and then they sent me this Bible verse in the mail. I can't remember exactly which one it is. I think it's from Matthew or whatever, but it was like, depart from us, brother, you never knew us, or we never knew you, or something like that. So anyway, it was very
You're dead to me. You're dead to me.
Yeah,
so dramatic. So dramatic.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but at the same time, you know, and this is kind of taking place in the background as I'm meeting my wife. And the Masonic Lodge was kind of part of the United Church of Canada. Like that was like their main hub kind of thing. And my wife at the time, who was my girlfriend. So I met her at a party. She was walking down the stairs. I'm like, oh, she's really cute. I'm just going to smush ice cream cake in her face. It was a birthday party. So I literally smashed the cake in her face and didn't say a word to her beforehand. And she just kind of stared at me, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. And I started eating it off of her face. And then I'm like, all right, well, she's not really taking it the right way. So I'm going to go upstairs. And then I turn around, she's right behind me, and she had followed me around, and we ended up talking like the whole night. And that's kind of our introduction. So so we hit it off really well. Same time, was going to the Masonic Lodge, so United Church of Canada is where they were kind of based out of. And then my wife was United Church of Canada. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe there's something to this. Maybe, maybe there's some kind of miracle happening here or something. I don't know, because I didn't really know anything about religion or any of the terminology. So I started going with her to church, and, I would sit there and listen to the stories, and it was, interesting stuff, but never really, stuck with me or anything like that. And so when we moved to the area where I'm living now, which is where her parents are, we were going to church all the time with her parents. It just became a thing because we were living with them while we were waiting to buy a house. And at one point, they had the minister call our house and say, hey, would you mind coming and lighting the Christ candle and passing the plate around and all this stuff? And I'm just like, you know what? This is too much for me. I just, they're kind of making me part of this. And it's like, I was just being there for kind of moral support and for that type of thing. And I kind of lashed out at everybody, became an angry atheist, and was like, fuck this. I'm not doing this anymore. It's just stupid. And I'm like, how are you so smart about all these other things? You're so dumb about this stuff. Right. And just really lashed out at everybody, went through a really bad angry atheist phase. And I always say I was more angry at myself than I was at anybody else, because I was the one duping people into thinking that I was a believer when I wasn't, right? So it was kind of my fault. But, it did get it a little too deep. At our wedding, even her parents, who I love, amazing people. Actually, her father passed away a couple of years ago, left a huge hole in our family and in our hearts. Just an amazing person. But both of them at our wedding said, during their wedding speech, we're so happy she met a man who believes the exact same thing she does. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Wow.
Whoopsies.
Yeah, exactly.
Surprise.
Yeah. So when I was going through this angry phase, I was like, just really pissed off all the time. And I was thinking, like, there's got to be a way that I can mend this bridge, like build these bridges and get my relationship back on track, get them, back on track with the people in the community and with my family. And so I started looking for people online, and I found Anthony Magnabosco. So if anyone doesn't know who that is, he practices what you call street epistemology. So it's using the Socratic method to ask questions in a gentle questioning method to, get to the heart of why people believe what they believe. And sometimes it makes people reevaluate things. Sometimes it's just to have those cordial conversations. And, Anthony will even tell you that was really hard for him to do, because he was out on the street yelling at street preachers and feeling the same thing. Like, he wanted something to be able to have these good conversations. So he read a book called The Manual for Creating Atheists by Dr. Peter Boghossian, and started practicing the techniques that was in the book and really perfected them, and then came up with Street Epistemology International, which is now a huge organization that is working on having these cordial conversations. So I stumbled across him. I also stumbled across Dale McGowan, who was instrumental in me understanding my interfaith relationship, because he has books on that and parenting in an interfaith situation. So basically, I reached out to both of them and said, help. I need help with my family, with my marriage. I need help with all this stuff. And both of them, tremendous help for me. And I got to the point where I was able to have these cordial conversations and rebuild these bridges. And it kind of happened when my wife got pregnant with our first son, and we were deciding, how are we going to raise him? And we came to the conclusion, because I had gone through this change in my attitude and the way I was approaching things, is that we came to the conclusion that we're going to allow them to choose. Not that you can choose your religious beliefs, but allow them to be influenced in any direction that they see fit. So, providing information for every single belief system that they want to research, whatever, just never holding them back from anything, never indoctrinating them into either atheism, humanism, Christianity, whatever, just allowing them to be free. So I started writing a blog on Medium. So I was doing this through Recovering from Religion, because I am the ambassador program director for Recovering from Religion. So they have Excommunications, and it's a blog on Medium. So I started writing these snippets from my life on there, and people were saying, like, oh, you should write this into a book. Like, this is really cool. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's kind of a cool idea. Maybe I'll do that. So I posted a thing on Facebook just saying, hey, if there's any friends that remember any stories from when we were younger, I'm writing a book. And I had someone reach out to me that I didn't know who she was at first. And she's like, I'm using a pen name, but we grew up together, and it ended up being my sister's friend who actually had helped in high school with her confidence. So she ended up reaching out to me and saying, I'll edit your book for free. I'm like, oh, okay, sweet.
Oh, really?
I sent all the things that I had compiled together to her, and she's like, oh, this is cool. This is no good. And I'm like, oh, well, that's a big hit to the heart. But basically, she's like, yeah, there's no direction here. You have a bunch of cool, funny stories, whatever, but there's nothing tying them together. So just, take it to the drawing board and come back with something new. And at first I was going to call the book Midlife Musings from a Sarcastic Secular Humanist. So that's kind of what I put it together as and sent it to her. And she's like, that's not really, it doesn't really.
That would be a good YouTube name, just saying.
It would for sure. But also, you got to think about names when people are typing things in, right? You don't want them to.
Yes. Simple.
Yeah. So I'm also with Humanist Canada. I'm a humanist officiant, so I do weddings.
I thought I heard a Canadian twang in there.
Oh yeah. You'll hear a boot a lot. So, but yeah, so I was with Humanist Canada, and I was doing the podcast with them as a podcast host, and they wanted me to do this segment about, getting along with people and whatever. And they were saying like, come up with a name for it. So I'm thinking like, okay, it's, kind of from the heart, humanism from the heart. Hey, that's a good name for my book. So I ended up saying like, okay, I'm going to use this name for my book. So I put that down on paper. And as soon as I did that, all the ideas started flowing of how to like put all this together. And I'm like, what's my overall purpose for this book? Like, what do I want to accomplish? And I'm like, it's kind of like building bridges, and it's, beyond belief. Oh, cool. There it is right there. Subtitle. So that's kind of how the name and everything and how it all started flowing. And then the person who was editing it said, yeah, you got it. Like, you nailed it. This is like it's like 180-degree change from the last thing I saw. And,
that's
she
awesome.
just put her stamp on it and basically put it together in the format and everything for me and got it out. So yeah, I was, super lucky to have Anthony Magnabosco add the forward to it. And then also I got David Fitzgerald to write a blurb for me. And then also Dale McGowan, who's another hero of mine I mentioned earlier, also wrote a blurb for me. So that's kind of where it came from, the ideas anyway.
Is Dave Fitzgerald the one who wrote like the Jesus myth stuff?
Yeah, Jesus mything and
okay, yeah, I have one of his books. I enjoy his ideas surrounding Jesus' existence or non-existence.
Yeah, no, he's a really good author, and him and his wife both write books together. And I think they're writing like a fiction series right now, which is kind of neat.
Oh, that's interesting. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Fun.
I have got a link here to your humanist page, and I'm going to post it here in our link so people can go there, or post it in our chat so people can go check that out.
Cool.
Whenever y'all get the chance. I need to get a straight link to your book on Amazon. Let's see.
That's a good idea.
I'll look for it here and see if I can find it.
For sure. Because I just recently. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I found it. I got it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I just recently got it into like Barnes and Noble, Indigo chapters, all those bookstores as well. So anyone can get it anywhere at this point, which is kind of cool. Awesome. I also have it in the local libraries, and like any library can order it in too. So if you don't want to spend any money on it, the libraries can bring it in.
Gotcha. Let me put this up there. Look, bad Chris for not having that ready. If you knew what I was doing, I've just been wrapped up this week on shit that it's just different. So I am a bad person. That's not why I'm going to hell though. There's lots of reasons. That's not why. But now we've got a link up there. So guys, if you're interested, go check out Steve's book. And it sounds fascinating. How long did it take you to put all this together?
It was about 2 years total. When I started writing the blurbs on Medium, and then kind of going from tick to boom was about 2 years. But yeah, it was a big process because, at first when I just had all these random stories, it was like, how do I tie all these stories together? And some of the stories were kind of funny, and some of them were like more, heartfelt and that type of thing. So it was kind of like, let's get started on kind of what humanism is and how we can apply it, and then go from there into, what my experiences were with the negative aspects of religion, and then, go into, what I would do differently if I was kind of in charge of, religion or the world, as a god or something myself, and just kind of add some funny stories of things that have happened along the way. I call it a memoir with a twist. It's kind of the way I describe it. Yeah. So there's a lot of funny elements to it. There's one story in particular where I joined this kung fu camp because I thought like kung fu is like, you know, the best of the martial arts because you see it in all the movies, and I wanted to be able to be,
of course,
Reeves and say, you know, I know kung fu. So I joined this kung fu center up in like kind of, I guess, central Ontario, Canada, and just kind of in the woods. Is like in this rural part of the woods, and I had to drive in quite a distance to get to the dojo. So I go there, and there's, you know, these two elderly white people who were teaching kung fu, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And they had this gift shop, and they had videos of themselves in like these decorative uniforms, like doing kung fu. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy these videos and watch them and see if it gives me an edge up on anything. And you know, it didn't. But after some of the lessons, they would be like, okay, well, are you going to stay behind for our prayer session? And I was like, prayer session?
Wow.
Oh, okay. And they would bring out like a pot and have a fire in the living room because they also lived in this building. And they said, write down your sins on a piece of paper. So I'm like, I don't even know what they're asking me to do. So I'm just going to write down, I want to be better at kung fu. You know, like I don't know what I'm supposed to write.
Right.
So
off too much.
Yeah. And like fold it into pieces, whatever, and then throw it in the fire and then breathe in the smoke to cleanse your soul. So I just followed along and did it and whatever. And this is during my atheist days. Didn't know about religion, didn't care about religion. It just wasn't a thing for me. You know, and then I'm like, okay, well, you know, that's a little strange, but whatever. Maybe this is just a kung fu ritual thing I don't know anything about. And so I joined their camp. Their camp was like a 2-week long thing out in the middle of the woods, so just beyond their property. So I get out there and I got a cabin because I don't like sleeping out on the ground or anything. So they hooked me up with a cabin. I ended up paying a little bit more money for it. But every morning they would have us do like a prayer session, like, oh, it's a meditation. And then we get down there and they'd be like, thank you, Jesus, for the day and blah, 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 blah. So they were talking to Jesus at this kung fu camp. And they had this big giant square in the middle of the yard with all these rocks. And then they're like, okay, part of our job today is to bring rocks to this big square on the ground. And we're like, okay, like, what's this big square? And they're like, oh, we're glad you asked. This is actually a temple that we're building for when Jesus comes back. And wow. I was thinking, okay, Jesus is going to come to like rural Ontario, Canada. Okay, whatever. So I started, you know, just doing whatever they told me to do. It got really weird. They had this Muslim instructor come from Toronto, and he's sitting there, and they're having like this campfire sing along, and they start singing a song called "My God is Better Than Your God." And they started like shooting looks at each other and like accusatory things and whatever. And I'm like thinking, isn't their God the same thing? Like, isn't Allah the same as Yahweh? Like, none of this makes any sense. So I'm like, I need to get the hell out of here. So I plotted my escape. In the morning, I was going to get up super early and jet out of there before they were able to come down this 1-lane road to get in and out of this property. So I got all my stuff packed up, got in the car, drove out. And as I'm leaving, they caught me at the end of the road, and they basically got out of their cars and were like looking at me, and I'm like, oh, you know, my grandma is really sick. I gotta get home right now. You know, I'll try and get back as soon as I can. Like, I'm just trying to come up with something to get out of there. And they both look at each other, and they're not even talking. They're just kind of looking at each other, and then they look at me, and they're like, okay, just don't tell anyone what's going on at this camp. And I'm like, okay, sure. But I was thinking like, fuck, like, get me the hell out of here, right? So they let me go. And, you know, I completely scrubbed it from my memory. I'm like, fuck this place. I'm never coming back. I don't know anything about it. And I get this thing in the mail, and it's got like their watermark on it and everything. I open it up, and it's a bunch of pictures of me that I didn't know were being taken. Some of them while I was sleeping in the fucking cabin.
Excuse me?
Yeah. And I'm like, what the hell? And so I talk about this in the book, and I have a chapter on it. So I end the chapter by saying, neither Jesus nor I are returning to that camp.
Well, we have a question here.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Ryan.
Nothing.
Oh, sorry. We have a question from somebody. Wanted to know about your definition of, let's see, no disrespect to the guest. I got to engage with the chat. Are you on to the definition of humanism yet, or should we know about it? Well, the definition of humanism is kind of straightforward, I believe. It's your stories in your book, the humanism of the heart is.
Yeah. So
do you want
I kind of get into a description of what humanism is, or talk about what it is, but it's mostly from my perspective in the book, because there's a lot of books that do talk about what humanism is and how to apply it. This is more like kind of how I've just taken those principles and applied them in my own life. But when people ask me, and I do mention it in the first chapter, because the first chapter is about going across to the States, because I'm always going across to do a presentation on either, interfaith families, getting along with people, regardless of what their beliefs are, recovering from religion. So I'll mention humanism in some capacity, and like the border guard's like, what? Like, what is this? And I'm like, what? The first time I heard that, I poked my head out the window thinking like maybe there was damage to the side of my vehicle, because the guy's like, what's that? And I'm like, oh, humanism. Okay, humanism is, a non-religious philosophical worldview which places the highest emphasis on, well-being, compassion, empathy, and it's kind of led by scientific investigation. And that's just kind of what I use as like an overall description, just so people kind of understand what humanism is. But how humanism is applied is kind of like in whatever capacity is going to, help human well-being, like help flourishing of human well-being. And I always say, say again.
That's a solid description.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, this is the cool thing about humanism is that, and a lot of people kind of want to own the term, I say. So it's like, people are like, oh, well, you can only be a humanist if you're a secular humanist or an atheist. But the funny thing is, like, my wife considers herself to be a Christian humanist. And the term humanism, I mean, it is non-religious, and just in the fact that it's just void of religion, it's just a philosophy, right? So if you place your highest emphasis on those principles, you can be a religious humanist as long as you're following the principles of humanism as opposed to the dogma of your religion.
They're not mutually exclusive.
Right.
Is the deal. Yeah. We have a $2 super chat from Robin Webster, who says, say hello to Steve.
Hey, Robin. Robin is one of our volunteers with RFR. So, yeah, really appreciate it. I got to meet Robin for the first time actually at NanoCon. So that was awesome.
Me too. I got to share a table with her.
That's so cool.
Are you jealous? Yeah. You're jealous. Yeah. I know you're jealous. I know.
Yeah.
Rainbow Love or Rainbow Ash says, why believe in nihilism? It means nothing to me for $2.
Why believe in nihilism? It means nothing to me. That's good. And I don't know if that's meant as a joke, but it's a funny joke.
Yes, it's cute. Yeah, I think yes. Our chat is usually pretty funny, pretty lively. We got a couple of rowdy troublemakers in there.
There's always
John for one, and there's a couple other ones. Raven Lunatic. That's both a name and a description.
Sometimes those are those fun people, you know what I mean? So
they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. I think what we're going to do here, I'm going to give our people here a chance here. In just a minute, we're going to go to a break. I like to give them a choice. I think today we're going to go with either the pup or the Pharaoh's curse. So if you guys are in it now, I don't know, Steve, do you have the chat open on another window so you can see the chat?
I do. Yeah, I have my phone open, but I think it's a little bit delayed.
Oh, no worries. Okay, just in case, okay. So usually the way we do this, if we get 2 votes for the same thing, then we go with that commercial. So a lot of people like the Pharaohs. Have you heard the Pharaoh Sombrero song?
No, I haven't.
You might watch the commercial if you get the opportunity. We're going to go to commercial right now, and people have voted, and they want the Pharaoh. We'll probably give them the pup at the end of the show. Here we go with the Pharaoh's curse. I'm going to get some coffee. You might want to check this out.
Okay.
Mi burrito es tan bueno. It burns when I pee. Abraham had the crotch cooties and gave his sister wife to me. El ataco bueno. It stings like a bee. They told me she was a sister. Now I'm plagued between the knees. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penile plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, there's fire between my legs. Mi burrito está no bueno. A full bladder I fear. Abraham's lies and Sarai's touch have left me itching front to rear. Mi burrito está bueno, it burns when I pee. Abraham had the crotch cooties and gave his sister wife to me. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penal plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, that's fire between my legs. Mi burrito está no bueno, a full bladder I fear. Abraham's lies and Sarai's touch have left me itching front to rear. Mi burrito está no bueno, it burns when I pee. Abraham had the crotch cooties and gave his sister wife to me. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penal plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, there's fire between my legs. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penal plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, there's fire between my legs.
Okay. All right. And we are back. So you were telling us about an author. Tell us about that. Tell us that story again. That was good shit. What you were just telling us about the lady who.
Yeah. So Britt Hartley, she's an author and a speaker, and she's doing a really good job. Like, I feel like she's so she went to theology school and lost her faith along the way. Mm-hmm. And she said, that's a normal thing that happens a lot. She doesn't even know the statistics because, 62.83% of statistics are made up on the spot. So, she didn't really want to get into the statistics of it, but basically there's a high percentage of people that once they go to theology school, they become atheists. And even the Harvard theology school, like Harvard Divinity, the president of the dean or whatever, Greg Epstein, is actually an atheist. So like it's a huge thing there. And she said, like, a lot of times people, when they go to church, they just want to hear the message that you're saved and everything's good and all these things are good and everything like that. But she said, when you go to theology school, you actually learn about how the Bible was put together and how these different stories, some of them are kind of fabricated, and some of them maybe have historical truths to them in some capacity. But she said you get really confused, and at one point it's just like, okay, I don't really believe in the supernatural aspects of this anymore. And she said, that's kind of where like the idea of the clergy project came from, where people are now shoehorned into these positions where they're now in the clergy, but they don't believe in the actual religion anymore.
We've discussed that several times on the show.
Yeah, for sure. And there's lots of people. I mean, we've met a few people that are part of the clergy project. We're going to keep their names, hush hush, because they're hidden for a reason. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so it's just interesting to me, and I felt like she was onto something really, really cool there. So I was thinking about. So I have a friend of mine who's a minister, and he's very nuanced in his thoughts and his thinking. And I was wondering, I was going to approach him about this and say, did this happen to you in Divinity College? Did you, start having to break down your old system of beliefs and rebuild it back up into what it is now? And I thought it'd be kind of a cool thing to do a joint venture with this minister, where the two of us could maybe write a book together on that, like his perspective of things and my perspective and how I see things, with regards to people who are, at the pulpit, but not really believers and things like that. I thought it'd be a topic to cover.
Interesting. Awesome. Well, cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. It was a good little story you were telling us. I wanted to get you back now. We kind of covered your ideas on just the basic definition of humanism, kind of, and how it goes. Now we've kind of covered that, got that out of the way. Now we can finish and let you finish talking about your book, because that's where you were into. And of course, folks, if you don't know, the link to his book is up in the chat. feel free to go over there and make a purchase. I believe we missed a super chat. Did we miss a super chat there?
Yes, there was, I think, 2 possibly, maybe, or at least 1.
At least one. It was, let's see, we have Kelly, the Detroit Atheist Queen.
Ooh, Kelly.
For $2 said, you rock, Steve.
Oh, thank you so much, Kelly. Same to you.
Neil,
Kelly's doing, Kelly's
that?
doing great things. She's part of Black Non-Believers. I think she's going on the Bat Cruise soon. With
yeah. She's all over the place. She's everywhere.
We're part of the same Sunday Assembly Detroit. I'm currently the president there right now, and Kelly is one of our most valued members. So
we've got I've met her twice now. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah, nice.
We've got $2 Canadian, was not real money, right?
Ooh, there we go.
I'm sorry.
Must be from
actually
Neil.
His dollars probably are more real now than ours are. Damn it. Thwarted again. Anyway, Neil says, damn it, Steve, get your butt here to Baja Con.
I will be there this afternoon. Don't you worry. But can't wait to meet you in real life, Neil. It's been nice knowing you for a few years now. So, it's going to be a really fun time at Baja Con.
Excellent. Okay, so now that I've got all those out of the way, thank you all for your support. Go ahead, tell us some more about your book.
Sure.
Or when you're going to get another one out. You've already teased us with another one, so you feel free to wander about on those topics. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, the book was actually written. The way that it turned out to be a response to people, because I get a lot of people all the time coming up to me and saying, like, there's no way that I could be married to a Christian or someone who's a different background or belief than me. And I get most of my pushback from atheists, from people that are like, oh, you're being too nice or too generous to the other side. And I don't like to see it as sides. I like to see it as, we're all in this life together, so we got to have to work with what we have. And if there's people that are progressive on the religious side of things, it's better to work with them than work against them. There's something called the backfire effect. And it's, if you push back too hard with facts and evidence and harshness, people will just dig in their heels and actually, push back even harder. So that's one kind of thing I learned from Dr. Darrell Ray's book, The God Virus. He likens the idea of religion to being like a virus, which is, kind of infects the mind, and then it gets passed on to different generations through vectors like priests and that type of thing, which is really cool analogy. But what he does talk about there is that if you're addressing the God virus, if you're like kind of pushing back on the ideas of the God, which then now become a part of that person, it feels like you're attacking the person. So the person is going to build up those defenses. So the way that I took this book is I'm going to talk to people as people, whether you're a believer or not, and we're going to find a way to work together and make this happen. And that's kind of where I went with the overall theme of the book. And I've actually had quite a lot of religious people who've read the book have reached out to me, and they said, like, I really appreciate how you were very neutral on this, on pushing back on beliefs. And believe me, I do push back a little bit in there as well, just to get people thinking. But I'm a little bit more generous to people on all sides of the religious divide. So people are noticing that. And actually, I had somebody say that they strengthen their faith by reading my book. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. I mean, if something in there helped you do that, that's cool. I don't know what it would have, but I mean, sure. Everyone takes things in their own way. I did have only one person who sent me an email that was basically like, fuck you, loser. You are, leading people to hell. You just want to sin and blah, 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 blah. And I just, it was.
How do they always know that we just want to sin? I mean, call us out every time.
And the funny thing is that obviously he didn't read my book, or he or she didn't read my book, because it has nothing to do with that in there at all. Actually, there's one part of my book which is pretty funny. I have this shirt that says, there is no hell, be kind anyway. And I wore it at the convention at NanoCon, so people were kind of coming up to me, oh, hey, there's the shirt.
Maybe they were just angry that your book didn't come with crayons.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it does have 15 questions in the back with space to write with crayons. And actually, the most important question is at the very back. The last question is, what's for lunch /dinner after this? So that's the most important question. I kind of wrote that for book clubs, because a lot of people were saying, oh yeah, it'd be really cool for a book club. So I'm like, you know what, I'll put some questions in there for book clubs, and I've had a lot of good feedback on that too. But I was wearing this shirt in town. I was walking around, and this guy with a handlebar mustache and like these shades, he looks at me and he goes, I should just come punch you in the face. And I'm like, excuse me? Like, hi, how are you? And he's just like, and I'm like, what is it that, you're offended by? He goes, your shirt, it says there's no hell. I demand an answer to that. And I could smell his breath because he's like right in my face.
Ew.
And I'm like, okay, what does the Bible say about hell? And he goes, I don't know. I haven't read it.
Excuse me?
But hey, at least he was passionate enough about it to get up in somebody else's face.
And I'm like, my shirt's telling you to be kind, so I don't know where you're getting, this from. But anyway, it was just funny. And then I'm like, oh well, sorry, thanks for your opinion. Take care, my friend.
Don't go away mad. Just go away.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
And like, I would have, maybe if he had approached me and actually asked questions about it, like, oh, why do you say there's no hell? Then I'd be, maybe go into a street epistemology style question where I'll say, like, oh, why do you think that there is a hell? Where the idea of hell come from? And that kind of thing. But he didn't seem like he was willing to have a conversation. So
yeah.
And I almost quoted 1 Peter 3:15, to explain yourself with like gentleness and kindness. But I'm like, I don't even want to get into this right now. You know what I mean?
Yes. The longer you were there, the more likely it was to get violent. Go away, get away quickly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of times where I find it ironic that they are like, oh, there's those atheists, be careful, right? And the example I'll give is, if you guys were there, is a great example, was the Kentucky Art Encounter protest.
Oh, I wanted to go to that, but I couldn't. Yeah.
We're all down there in this little pile of people, and we got a microphone, and we're talking, and we're having a good time, and we're trying to not to overheat and die and all this stuff. But we're just a bunch of friendly people having a good time, laughing. But there's this Christian up on the hill, and he's showing us down there, and he's talking about the atheists, or talking about how it's incest and drowning and murder and incest park or some shit. And he's got one of my friends is down there, Christian. We got a Christian infiltrating them. Like we're the ones with 2,000 years of history and of history of violence and lying and just the whole ball of wax,
Yeah.
Like we're the ones that can't be trusted. That's what Ryan and I were talking about earlier. We need the word Christianity needs to be redefined in our modern lexicon. People got the wrong idea whenever they say, oh, you're not a good Christian. Oh, he probably is being exactly a good Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, it depends on people's definitions. And I've seen a lot of actual priests and stuff get on videos and say, oh, this isn't actual Christianity because real Christianity is this, whatever. It's kind of
what's real?
Mm-hmm. But I actually have a chapter. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, do you find a lot of similarities between the teachings of Jesus and humanism? Your thoughts on this?
Sometimes, yeah, for sure. And the funny thing is, like, we have an adopted street, my humanist group in Canada here in Windsor. And I talk about this in the book, that I had someone approach me and say that they think that we're doing the good things that we're doing because of Jesus. And instead of taking it as an insult, I just said, like, if there is somebody like that guiding our actions, then that's a good thing. Right? Like it's I'm not going to take it as a negative thing, or I'm not going to take offense to it. If someone is trying to express themselves and say, they express themselves through the actions of Jesus or what they see as being like Jesus-y or Christ-like, then cool, whatever. You can see us in that way if it's going to help you interpret our actions as being good. Right. And that's kind of like the ground level. I mean, hopefully eventually we'll get to the point where people understand that atheists and humanists, we're just ordinary people, and we just want to live our lives and that as well, and not listen to what the preachers and stuff are saying about people, especially atheists, because they come up with all these crazy things to say about us and everything. And, when people actually meet atheists in real life, they go, oh, okay, he's just a person. Right? Like my neighbor, when I first moved in, he was like, oh, I go to such and such church over there or whatever. And he goes, what church do you go to? I'm like, I don't go to a church. And he's like, what? What do you mean? Because I'm in kind of like the Bible Belt area of Canada, very close to the US, right? I'm actually south of Detroit. I actually have to go north to get to Detroit, which is really crazy. But yeah, so I get a lot of that all the time. What church do you go to? I'm like, oh, I don't go to church. And then people are like, oh, and they kind of like get weird, like standoffish feel. And after a wild conversation, they're like, oh, he's just a normal dude. He's just cool, So I'm just hoping that by having just nice, normal conversations and not bringing up anything negative, that we're just going to hopefully sway people in the correct direction.
I hope.
Yeah.
What kind of people do they think atheists are that would make them go, atheist?
Yeah, like I don't know. I've actually heard like preachers and stuff say disparaging things about atheists, and it's just really funny because atheist just means lack of belief in a god. It doesn't say anything about the person's character or anything, right? So
just read the chat. You'll see all kinds of Christians come in here and talk about what they think an atheist is, and apparently they have no idea.
Oh yeah,
and without God, we have no morals. So
right.
Yes. That's that
actually brings up a cool point. So I'm going to meet Phil Zuckerman today, who actually wrote a book called "What It Means to Be Moral," and talking about how morality has been formed over generations through social contracts that we have with other humans. So it's just really cool. I get to get him to sign my book, and I really like his book, obviously, the book that I own that is his, not my book. But yeah, so I'm excited to meet him as well.
Awesome. That was wonderful. All right. So a minute ago, I actually interrupted you. You were telling us, I think it was about chapter 8 in your book.
I think I was going to, was it that one? I was going to say, I also, because we were kind of talking about how, the guy was saying, oh, there's a Christian in the midst here and he's pretending to be part of you.
Oh, yes.
Like I have a chapter in my book where I talk about how no one actually pretends to be an atheist because there's no advantages to that. Whereas, I kind of spun it on its head because I was kind of pretending to be a Christian to get the advantages of being part of the community and that type of thing. But because atheism and humanism is kind of a minority, it's not really advantageous for anyone to pretend to be an atheist. So I guess in that situation where someone's pretending to be part of us to like infiltrate whatever, I don't know what they're expecting to find out or get out of us. They're probably going to just find out that we're nice people and that that we actually stand behind what we say. So
are we chanting to Satan or something? That's the best they're going to get.
Yeah.
But they must be hearing rhetoric from somewhere, whether it's,
of course.
I don't know, media, the TV shows that they're watching. Are they watching TLC? Maybe? Is it possible?
Well, it's funny because like all those Christian movies, it's like they talk about atheists, but they show it's people that are mad at God. And it's funny because you can't be an atheist if you're mad at God. You wouldn't even believe in a God. So
right. Now, I don't like the Christians' idea of God, like that person that they project God to be. I could not like that God, but I only argue on that basis, not because I believe in him or I'm angry at.
It's an internal critique. Yeah.
Thank you. That's the shortened version, TLDR. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a thought on that. And my thought is, you hear these people talking about being mad at God. We're not mad at God, right? We're not. However, I believe there are believers out there who their life is kind of turned into shit. They've been praying, it ain't going their way, and they do indeed get mad at God. Yeah. And so what they'll do is they'll like, I'm going to be an atheist now because God's not doing anything for me.
Right.
And I've met people who, and sometimes you'll meet them later. They're like, I used to be an atheist like you. I'm not going to doubt very much you were an atheist like me.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, so they're mad at God. And then it's as soon as anything goes right their way, they meet the love of their life, or they get a new car, or anything. They get anything. All of a sudden, God has smiled on them, and they come back to God. So I believe there are those out there who are indeed mad at God, but they're not real atheists. They're Christians trying to get their God's attention.
Right.
That's my opinion.
And that's a definitional thing. That's not even our opinion. That's definitionally, because you can't be an atheist if you still believe in a deity. Right. That's definitional.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
The wayward sheep.
Mm-hmm. But no, I've seen that a lot, especially on the call-in shows and stuff. You get people calling in, to Matt Dillahunty and being like, I used to be an atheist and blah, blah, blah. And Matt Dillahunty's like, were you actually an atheist?
Yeah. All the time.
Really?
Yeah. Doubtful. Yeah. I do not believe that you were an atheist and went back to God, please.
we've talked about that. There are probably a percentage of people who were atheists and who did. I mean, we got to, without casting that wide of a net. But Ryan did a Theocracy Watch study one time, and she dug up some science. It essentially said the better off intellectually, emotionally person is the one who started out as a theist and became an atheist. If you started out as an atheist and became a theist, you're more likely to be intellectually or emotionally suppressed or less. I'm not trying to, what I'm trying to say, and be gentle about it.
I can see that happening because a lot of times when people are at their lowest level, they get love bombed, right? So it's like, someone who never really knew anything about religion. I mean, you can consider them an atheist because they just never really knew about it or anything. And they've never actually done their own research, and they have someone coming up saying, oh, well, do you know Jesus? Jesus is the answer to all your problems. And then they start, bringing them into church and treating them like gold and whatever. Right. And it kind of enforces that, okay, well, this is the right thing to believe because these people are taking care of me and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I know all about the love bombing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And then they come at you, like you said, right at the very beginning, boom, 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 boom. And they go for the week. Yeah. And there's another thing I've said, and I've said this a long time, is that there are people out there who are good people, period. They're good people. And they levitate towards religion, especially Christianity, because this notion that it helps people, that they can help the poor, or they can help do other things, or that it's a place of kindness or stuff like that. They've got this notion. So they gravitate towards the church. And then they get into the church. And that's how the church gets so many good people. I'm just saying, even though it's, not really the best of things, that's how it gets so many good people.
For sure. And I mean, like, if you look at the numbers of people leaving organized religion, I mean, like, there's a lot of people who are non-religious, but they would consider themselves spiritual, whatever that means, right? I don't know what spiritual means, because it means something different to everybody.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with religion. I mean, like, there's different versions of religion for every single person that there is in existence, because nobody's going to see the same thing as somebody else. Nobody's going to think that this God is the same thing as the person who's sitting next to them in the pews. But when it comes to the spirituality and people that are kind of shifting away from organized religion, like, the numbers are huge. I don't know exactly what they are, but I know there's a lot of people that leave before the age of 18. And then the numbers that return are like 2% or something like that, right? So it's like, if you grow up in the church and you leave by the age of 18, it's only a 2% chance that you're going to go back. Because you've kind of, by that point, you've heard enough, right? Like, enough about the belief system to kind of make up your mind as to what it is that it's saying and doing.
You successfully escaped.
Realize how good freedom tastes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she's an XJW. So.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to thank you for joining us today, Steve. You've got you don't really do a YouTube channel, do you? Yet?
I don't. No, I've gotten into TikTok recently. I've got it's called Humanism from the Heart on TikTok.
Nice.
I've got like over 1,000 followers now, so I've been able to do some lives. But I actually got shut down on my live yesterday. I didn't know that you couldn't drive in live. I thought that was.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't think there was a thing. So I got a flag. I got like a warning.
Yeah. That's crazy. It doesn't make sense at all, does it?
No. Well, I sacrificed a chicken this morning, so I think I'm back on there.
Okay, got you. Oh, we'll have a candle for that soon.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yes, he hasn't heard of our goat scented flesh candles.
Oh, I kind of did, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if you got a sin you need to absolve and you don't have an animal, just wait. We've got a product coming your way.
Perfect. Yeah. Send me something. That'd be great.
Okay, I'm going to read our super chats real quick. Thank you guys for joining us. And then whenever I'm done, I'm going to play what was it? I'm going to play some. Oh, is The Pup. Have you ever seen The Pup?
I don't think so.
Pope. It's with my dogs. Well, if you can watch it, get ready. After we do the super chats, I'll do it. I think you'll enjoy it. It's not my latest, but it's one of my funnest. So, Rainbow Ash said, "Why believe in nihilism? It means nothing to me." For $2. Thank you for your support. You Rock Steve from Kelly from Detroit, $2. And damn it, Steve, get your butt on here to BajaCon for $2 Canadian from Neil, the 604 Atheist.
It's going to cost more than $2 Canadian for me to get there.
Yeah, sure is. Sure is. Well, you know what? I appreciate you all. Now, if you can, I thank you all for your support. If you can, I'm going to let Ryan go. She can stay or go as she wishes. You know, she usually bounces into the chat. She runs away from the, and then I'll see her in the chat. I'm like, okay, Ryan, I'll see you. And she's gone.
I usually do like a couple more puffs and like and then I go walk the dog. So
recover as you recover.
Yes, oh, Jesus Christ, help me.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to run the pup commercial. If you'd like to check that out, Steve, do that. Yeah. As soon as this is over, I'll close out the show, and we'll see you in just a minute. All right.
Nice to meet you. Bye.
Finnegan!
Yes, sir. Very disturbing, I know.
Fetch me Father Finnegan.
Your Highness.
You are in the presence of His Holiness, the Puppius Maximus, guardian of the sacred fire hydrant, defender of the holy tennis ball, and eater of the golden kibble, Pup Oliver Poopsalop the Fifth.
Your popedom. I heard you have a bone to pick with me.
Condoms, Father Finnegan?
No, thank you. I've got plenty.
That's what I mean. Why are you selling condoms?
Oh, you mean our Pharaoh Sombrero line of condoms. Understood.
You know how we feel about those around here.
Well, they're not to be used by the Catholics, of course.
Not for Catholics?
No, they're part of our Sinner Gonna Sin lack of faith outreach program.
Sinner gonna what?
It's like getting the tithe, but from the heretics and the heathens and the atheists.
Oh, well, when you put it like that.
But, Your Highness, this will reflect very poorly on the church.
True. You know what this means, Flanagan?
Warning label. A warning label on the box. Not for Catholics in big letters.
Too subtle.
Instant purgatory if used by Catholics.
I like it. Divine branding.
Excellent, your popedom. Will there be anything else?
That will be all. You may leave.
It's good. How do you do the Irish accent so well?
All right. And we're back. You know, I don't know if I've got some Irish. Actually, I'm an actor. I don't know if you know this. I'm an actor. I go by Chris Black. I
remember seeing that before. Yeah, that's awesome.
I can do a variety of accents. English accent, Irish accent, good English, bad English, Texas accent.
I remember somebody on one of the call-in shows one time asked if you were a certain character from a certain show, and then I think you were like, no, that's not me, that's somebody else. But
that's true. I often get people often tell me I look like Donald Sutherland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from the Hunger Games. President
he's
Snow.
Dead now, so I guess.
Oh yes, he is dead. The resemblance is amazing, of course.
Confusion, but yeah, he was a really good actor.
Even in the airplane, in the airport, coming back from the NanoCon, whenever I was going through, and you give the guard your picture and to get through security there. That guy, we briefly spoke about how I looked like Donald Sutherland.
That's funny. It would be funny if someone's like, "Oh, Dios mío, he's back."
I want to tell you briefly on that. I have actually had that whenever I was a new atheist. I was brand new, first starting to tell people, be out about it. And I told this lady I was an atheist, and she did indeed step back and cross herself.
Wow.
So that was an early experience for me.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I had a conversation with somebody one time, and then they're like, "Oh, something about God." I'm like, "Oh, I don't really believe in God." And she goes, "Oh, okay. But you're not an atheist though, right?" I'm like, that makes me an atheist. And then the same kind of thing. It was like, oh. As long as you don't say the word atheist, you're okay. If you don't believe in God, it's fine. Just don't use the word atheist.
Be careful with your words. That's right.
Yeah.
Satan has your tongue. The evil one compared me. All right, man. I appreciate you. You have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining us. Everybody out there, thank you all. I hope you had a wonderful week. I hope you have a great weekend. Go blaspheme, sin, do all that stuff. Just remember, sin safely, my friends.
And just remember, I'm watching you. So
he is watching. Steve is watching. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me. It's been a blast.
Yes, and go buy his book and go check out his Facebook and his TikTok and all those things. So,
or take it out from the library. You don't have to spend any money.
There you go. Have a great weekend, guys. You take care.
See ya.
Got a house that smells like old cheese and shame. Father Flanagan's flesh candles change the game. Goat-scented thrills for your soul's delight. Light it up, baby, make your room right. When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan, here to set the tone. Confession booth, busy, no need to stress. Light a candle and forget your mess. Gross odors vanish like sins in the wind. With each wick, guess who's your new best friend? When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan, here to set the tone. Lambs and calves may have their day, but goat's the scent that leads the way. Clean your slate with a sniff so pure. Father Flanagan's got the cure. Turn your home into a saintly space. With every whiff, find redeeming grace. From your living room to the kitchen sink,